Hi there, welcome back. You ever wonder if you're paying the same price for things that other people are paying when you get something online? Today we're going to talk about that. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining. It's just another day again. Today we're talking about a Big Mac pricing experiment that I'll link up the article in the comments, but this is something where there is a discussion about does everyone pay the same for Uber Eats or DoorDash, things like that? And there's always been some sort of question about it. So there's a company in Manhattan that decided that they were going to go ahead and take a look at what you really pay for these services. So, we have different things as far as dynamic pricing, flights, hotel rooms, concert tickets, and dynamic pricing is kind of based around supply and demand. So sometimes when more people want the same thing and there's a limited supply, prices will go up. And that's just supply and demand in general. But when it comes to things that you buy on a normal basis, just fast food or some type of supplies or something, that it's a stable product, it's always there, and you see the price online, that should be the price that everyone pays. So businesses have gotten really good at leveraging technology to move these prices around and try to get more money out of everybody. So there's something called black box software, personalized data to set specialized pricing just for you. So they're trying to cater to you specifically to get your personalized pricing, which is just a way of saying, hoping that we don't just realize what's going on, that you don't talk to other people to see what they paid. And it's a little different when it's a flight and you book a month or two out and they have plenty of availability, as opposed to someone 5 minutes before the gates close and they're buying a ticket. Well, they're gonna charge something a little bit higher there. So what about if you're, instead of ordering from an apartment complex, you're ordering from an affluent suburb? Should you expect to pay the same price? I would think so, depending on what you're ordering. What if you're using an Amex Platinum card instead of just a regular basic Amex card? So these are things that are taken into consideration with some companies. People are starting to notice and getting pretty upset. So Business Insider's Manhattan office, they got 6 people together and they said, all right, let's order a Big Mac meal and we'll all do the same order with medium fries and a drink from the same McDonald's. And so New York State lawmakers had tried to put some things in place to keep things even, or to at least have companies disclose more readily what they're doing as far as personalized algorithmic pricing. Just call it surveillance pricing. That's what they're doing. They're kind of spying on what you're doing, where you're at. So Uber's uses personal data to set pricing. You'll eventually find the state mandated warning that this price is set by an algorithm using your personalized data. Your location is used to help us calculate fees and savings. So it's buried in the fine print that Uber has in their terms of service that, based on certain criteria, we'll probably charge a little bit more. And so these 6 people, they made their selections, subtotals told the tale. None of us was asked to pay the same amount. The total bills varied by 15 to 20 cents. Okay, not a huge difference. The price of the Big Mac stayed the same, but some of them paid a service fee. So that's what Uber collects. And again, these are going to the same office, same location that they're ordering from, same order. So the Uber fee was anywhere from $3.25 to $3.45. So again, not a massive difference. 2 of us even had the same delivery guy, yet we still paid different amounts, is what they said. No discernible pattern by age, income, gender. So 20 cents. What's the deal? Well, let's look at that a little bit. Our company says that while its fees can vary, this is Uber, they say differences are never based on a user's personal characteristics. So when they pushed for clarity, we were told that, well, New York's poorly drafted and ambiguous law requires it. So they're trying to put the blame that New York made a law that they have to disclose this. And I wouldn't be too happy about that. Companies aren't particularly forthcoming about where and when they're using variable pricing, notes Orrin Bard Gill, a professor of law and economics at New York University. So it's been hard to nail down just how widespread the practice is. And this is something that has, really gotten a lot of people fired up lately. There are a lot of retailers who are paying a lot of money to get a lot of data, personalized information about consumers, and they're doing it for a good reason. They're not just getting your data just because they like to see where you shop, when you shop, what you buy. They want to know what can they do to get you to buy more, to stay longer. Even when we can find what appear to be examples of algorithmic pricing, it's hard to find a company that says it's actually what's happening. Uber says it doesn't know why some of our Big Macs cost more. They weren't sure what to tell them when they were pressed. So last year, Consumer Reports and Groundwork Collaborative, a think tank, said they found evidence that Instacart was charging different customers wildly different prices for the same food from the same stores. Instacart said that it was part of tests it was doing and then pledged to stop doing them. So it was just for tests. They only did it for, specific testing. They weren't really doing this going forward. So Lindsay Owens, Groundwork's executive director who worked on the study, we're all sort of unwitting lab rats in the end. So Instacart just decided to charge different prices to different people, and in the end said, yeah, we didn't really mean it, so we're not going to do that anymore. So this kind of stuff couldn't really happen before the rise of e-commerce. When you went into a store and you got a pair of jeans and maybe your friend was with you that said, oh, I like those, I'm going to get a pair too. Maybe same size, same exact style. The price is the price. You pay the price, pay the taxes on it, and exact same amount. Years ago when I worked at a clothing store, you knew exactly what the price was. Every time someone brought a specific pair of jeans up, you knew exactly what the end price was going to be. It was always the same. So there's zero price transparency when you're scrolling on your phone or laptop, and plenty of ways to obscure the price you're actually paying. McDonald's experiment looked like we were all dealing with the base price of the meal. It was only after clicking to the end of the checkout process that we realized our prices varied. And this is something across the board. When you're looking at things online, you have no idea if you're looking at something different from what other people are paying. Obviously, there are different prices for different products in different parts of the country. Maybe New York or California might have higher prices on certain things, and other maybe Alabama or Ohio or something. But the fee differentials don't really amount to much for us. They might to Uber. That's the whole thing. Remember in Office Space when Peter and his friends, they decided to run a computer program on their company that's taking a fraction of a penny from each transaction. Well, quickly it added up to over $100,000, and they realized that, oh, we made a mistake, because they're surely going to see that much money gone. So it's the same with Uber. So yeah, 15 to 20 cents on the difference between the orders that the 6 people placed here. What are they going to care? They'll probably never even notice. But to Uber, it's a big deal, because over millions of transactions, how much extra money are they getting over these additional transactions here? It's regressive redistribution of wealth from consumers who don't understand what's happening to companies that can profit from that information asymmetry, is what the article says. So it's not cool. Pushing prices or constantly changing costs can alienate customers and reputational risk. So it talks about, remember back a few years ago, it was 2024, Wendy's said, oh, we're going to do dynamic pricing. And I've heard several companies look at doing that. Dynamic pricing is a pile of garbage. And just because it's a certain time of day, you're going to charge me, what, $1 or $2 more than it was just, 45 minutes ago? That doesn't make any sense, and a lot of customers are really mad. Also, last year, Delta got into hot water over fears it would start using AI to set individualized fares. That is some crazy stuff. It's already bad enough that You buy a ticket, here's the price, and then you get into the details. Well, this is the price, but like if you want to check a bag, we're going to charge you 30 bucks each way more, or $50 each way more. If you want to choose a seat, it's going to be this much more. It used to be, you charge, maybe business class or first class, and yeah, you'd pay more, but the rest of the plane, these are the prices. Well, if you want to sit on the window, it'll be this. On the aisle, it's even this. Otherwise, you're stuck in the middle like a slob. It's crazy what they start charging now. So Arnab Sinha, who heads Boston's consulting group's pricing practice, he says if it starts becoming unfair, there will be public backlash. And that's really the key, is when it becomes something that consumers don't really have a choice anymore and they're being taken advantage of, or they feel like that, that's when the public will really start having a problem. And they did with Wendy's. I mean, Wendy's, they had to back off this dynamic pricing. I've heard a lot of other companies start looking at that, saying, well, depending on this or these factors, we can charge more. People don't like that. People really don't like that. Companies like to point out that the ways it might benefit customers. Everyone loves a happy hour, cheap last minute tickets to a sporting event. So that's, for sporting events, that's unsold tickets that otherwise will go as, unrealized revenue unless they try to dump them for a fraction. Maybe it's after the first inning, you can get a big discount to get into the stadium. That's one thing. Or happy hour, that's to get people in at, times of the day that people normally wouldn't go, otherwise it's dead and there's no one in there spending money. So these are specials to get people in, not so much variable pricing that you're going to charge more. The problem isn't that we're just paying different amounts, it's that it's impossible to know when it's happening or identify the rhyme or reason when it does. It's frustrating that even Uber's response was essentially just a big shrug of the shoulders. We don't know what to tell you. So the world of personalized price mysteries is likely where we're headed. And so it's today it's just a Big Mac, but it could be, why is your coat more? Why is the hotel or apartment, everything priced differently for you as it is for me? So let me know what you think about dynamic pricing. Let me know about what you think about paying just slightly more than somebody else might for the same product. Let me know in the comments. If you have other examples or other articles, I'd love to see those. Please share those in the article or in the comments as well. And thanks again for joining. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I would love to have you join me every day for my videos. Thanks so much, and hope you have a great day. Have a great one.